I wouldn't question anything.
Hello buddies, welcome to some quick fast on Uncharted for the Lost Legacy. Or Uncharted Lost Legacy, whatever. Now this is some quick thoughts. I am gonna just go through the chapters one by one. I mean, it's just that. I'm not gonna review it like if I review. It's just some quick thoughts. And if you don't care, don't watch the video. And if you don't agree, well, shit. That's all what I have to say. So, let's start with, let's make this. I'm gonna go through the whole end. So let's start with the first chapters. Alright, the first 3 chapters, or maybe, but kinda, how do you say it? Pretty boring. It's just like too familiar. It's like a tutorial, but like a story tutorial. Like a campaign of a story tutorial. Or just a normal tutorial in campaign. Anyway, it's pretty boring, but it's necessary to set the stakes and to learn the mechanics of the game. But seriously, nobody actually needed it, because everybody who bought the Lost Legacy probably bought Uncharted 4 also. So it's very unnecessary. Also, I don't know if this is only for PS4, but when I bought this game, it's standalone game. But it was acted like a fucking DLC. I mean, it acted like a own game, but it was basically a DLC with its own cover. So that made me very, very confused. I had high expectation for it, so that is something I didn't like. And the first 3 chapters, yeah, they were boring. I'm giving them like 5. You can do it in all introductions, but by my standards, doesn't have to be all that great, but it has to be at least exciting. I mean, for example, start at the end, and you need to make it exciting in the beginning. But it doesn't really happen. Now, well, it's good though that this is only for the first chapters. All other chapters are entirely fucking different. Especially chapter 4 that I will go in, and I can say it's the best chapter in the whole game. No doubt the best chapter in the whole goddamn game. And for the reason why that is, it's just because the chapter feels like an open world. It feels like an open world in a game. And that's so cool that it actually made that happen. And it's just, if you don't spend the time exploring this, then I am very sorry for you. Because you didn't see all the awesome things that exist in this open world map, if you could say. But what's make these map works the best, it's just that you can take your time. I mean, you don't have to explore. It's just like an option. It's not really required. If you want to explore the fastest you can, then you have the option to do that. And that's where I like. That's one of the best things I like about the game. You have so many options, especially in this chapter 4. All the puzzles are pretty interesting. Some of just really boring, really quick, so very simple. But some of those actually made me take out a paper and just look it through. It was kind of like that. You had to think in some puzzles. Some puzzles are good, some puzzles aren't good. But the good is, if you didn't like that puzzle, like if you like wanted to go in the cities and not do the main story, you could just skip it. It's so easy. I like games who like, no, you need to explore this. I like that you have an option. So this game gets bonus point for that of me. Now the 5th and 6th chapter is what you expected for Honor game. Just the climbing, fighting a bunch of mercenaries, bad guys after bad guys, have a pretty good boss battles, and more bad guys. What you expected. You didn't expect something better than just that classic For Honor gameplay. And there's one thing also that makes this a little extra, is that I really like all the extra details they made on the maps and the areas. I mean, the statues are just amazing. And I really like when you pick up a weapon in the game, you get into the cutscene. And I just noticed that, oh man, okay, it's like a default, you get that gun every time. No, you get the gun you pick up. That is just bloody amazing. That is just bloody amazing in my part. And the details, all the details that I've done to the map, the statues, just the grass in general, it's just a technical masterpiece. And I would say it's even better than For Honor 4. Seriously. It's so great. I should have... I can't explain how beautiful it looks. Anyway, some things when we get to the later map is that it takes... I have seen a little pattern in For Honor games. A little pattern that I think is pretty lazy and they probably should change. This is just a tip. But alright, the story needs to always have these. Alright, it's pretty standard for Uncharted. Character, or more likely Nathan Drake, want to find a thing. And he or she has a friend or an ally or a person who knows these things, take them there. But then it is a bad guy with a bunch of other bad guys, a whole army, mercenaries, soldiers, whatever. And then they want also the thing. And then it's just end up they winning. I mean, it's pretty standard. And I think people will probably just see it. But man, they make the exciting bit exciting. Doesn't matter if you know the character is gonna survive. You are very excited on these cutscene play moments. You feel like For Honor feels like you're in a movie, but you are actually doing the movie. You're like playing the character, playing the movie, and the character is so good. It's unbelievable. And another thing, or no other things. Let's go to the more other chapters. Chapter 8 and 9, which are almost the last chapter. Yeah, it's pretty short game. That's also one of the bad things. But those last chapters, I don't have something negative about them. They're just great. They're just good entertainment. I like those. They make you just feel like you're in the whole thing. You're in this movie. You're playing the character. You're doing this. You're actually jumping up in the train and doing stuff. And the boss battles are pretty damn great. Also, let's talk about the characters, because I have something to say about our main characters and the villain. Now we can probably get to some spoiler territory, if you could call it spoiler. But I'm just gonna do it, alright? I'm just gonna tell. So, we of course have Nadine and Chloe. I think that's her name. I think that's her name. I don't really know. Well, they are both pretty interesting characters, especially Nadine. I really like Nadine that she got his own game. That's one of the best things I think that she got one of his own game and like became a main character. Because I think that's extremely good. Now there's some things I have problem with the villain. Alright, the villain is kind of, I don't know, how do you say it? It's pretty fun. I mean, it's just a guy who has something. It's just a bad guy. He wants bad stuff, and everybody hates him. It's like a punchable character. All the for Uncharted. All they do in Uncharted is just make the best villain to be a punching bag, because everybody hates him. And now I mean everybody. Everybody hates him. Because he's just... Everybody hates him. It's so simple. They just seem to hate him. I mean, sometimes they can do a villain with a sympathetic cause. Instead of making all the villains bad guys, super bad guys. We're bad. We want to get this thing and do it for our own good. I mean, that's kind of most of the characters. And also, why do every bad character has to have a fucking army? Is that really necessary? I mean, it's good when you get these sections with all the bad guys with the army, with stuff, and just a very wide collection of people to just beat the shit out of, shoot off, explode off, and just having fun with. Now we're getting to its flaws. And that is, the flaws is just the game is pretty damn short. And I am gonna be honest, it's pretty, you don't feel very satisfied. You don't feel you get a real ending. Because the ending is kind of something you all expected. It's just expected. You don't expect anything else. You don't get any new surprises. Though the exciting bits of the whole game makes it just feel like you're in this character. You can die. You feel like you're in a movie until you die a few times. Then you just feel like you're in a game again, and that ruined the experience. Now, I would say this is definitely not the worst For Honor, but it's basically a DLC on For Honor. Or Uncharted, fuck! I mix it up. On Uncharted. Well, Uncharted 4 is pretty... Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Alright, sorry. Fuck, I'm messing everything up. Uncharted The Lost Legacy... It's a pretty good DLC. I don't recommend it for its now price. Like, maybe, how do you say it? Maybe just wait till it get a little bit cheaper. Alright? Because it's not worth the price now, I think. It's really, maybe 200. But not this price, no, it's not worth it. And some other things that I just want to complain, or because why do Nadine get out-punched by Saul, the evil guy? I mean, in the last game, Nathan Drake couldn't even get one good punch. It was like just some few punches here and there. She kicked his ass. But now, she's getting totally ass kicked. I guess it's that to make excitement. Follow your own rules. That's pretty bad. Now, what I would say is the Lost Legacy. I would give it like 6 out of 10. Like meh standards, if you know what I mean. Like meh, it's an okay game. I had a little fun with it. But now I don't want to really play it anymore. And the collectibles aren't really that fun. You don't. If you'd like, okay, I find a collectible, nice. But you don't really feel like you want to actually get all the collectibles.
Don't make me babysit you.
Well, I guess that's my final thoughts. And if you disagree and thought this video was just unscripted and just bad, well, you're right on both fronts. I just wanted to talk, alright? I just wanted to talk a little about my quick thoughts that just came to mind, alright? I maybe missed something, but really, this is not a guy you should listen to. Well, no, you shouldn't be listening to me. You should probably be listening to somebody who made research. But there's some quick thoughts. I'm just a gamer. I'm just a person who played this game and didn't thought it was as good as the price said. Well, I guess I'm gonna end this video here. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends, family, and I'll see you in the next video. Boom! Goodbye.